Monday, July 16th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we learn about saving money and energy with Cape Light Compact, get more information about a new schedule at Barnstable High School, and you only have 1 week left to get your mooring waitlist applications in for the lottery drawing. Let's start with some news you can use. A $2 billion environmental bond bill passed last week by the state Senate includes an amendment with funding for flood prevention efforts for Barnstable's Blish Point neighborhood along Commerce Road. The area of land between Millway Beach and Marrospin Creek saw significant flood damage during winter nor'easters to more than 30 homes. The $1.3 million added by Cape and Island State Senator Julian Cyr would fund a study, design, and construction for flood-resistant efforts. A conference committee is also still deliberating the fiscal year 2019 state budget, which could include at least $50,000 in funding for the Blish Point neighborhood. The proposal for the funding was made by State Representative Will Crocker. The issue will once again be discussed by residents at Thursday's Town Council. Do you want to save money and energy? Are you a renter or low-income senior? Cape Light Compact has some energy assessments and programs just for you. Saving money, saving energy. They go hand in hand, and the Cape Light Compact has several programs for low-income and seniors to make sure that you're saving money and energy. With me today, Lindsay Henderson. You are a data analyst over there. You definitely have all sorts of information for folks that are, it's really important, especially this time of year when it's kind of hot.
You think? It's very hot. Well, thank you for having me, Paula. We thoroughly enjoy coming on your show and definitely have a lot of great information that's useful for the residents and businesses as well for the town of Barnstable. Right. So some of the programs that we have available for lower income folks as well as seniors is our most popular free energy assessment.
That's a great deal.
Yeah, and folks don't realize, but they actually pay for these energy efficiency programs on their bills every month, so it's in their best interest to take advantage of these programs. Right. And the free energy assessment, we have energy specialists that will come to the home and evaluate everything basically from their lighting, their appliances, insulation, and then we have different incentive levels based on what's recommended.
Right, and when the folks from Rise Engineering actually comes in and does some of these assessments for folks, they find all sorts of things that you don't think are actually what we call energy vampires, right?
Yeah, you really don't realize it. I remember the first time I had an energy assessment, and you know, everything from those TVs and VCRs and cable boxes even that use so much energy, and then they have, you know, we'll give you an advanced power strip that kind of helps conserve that vampire load right. per se, as well as, you know, wrapping your ducts to kind of help seal those in so that you're not losing air during the wintertime when the heating system's on.
Right, and then even light bulbs. One of the things that we found that was just amazing was the shower heads and the faucets. People don't realize that their energy can be lost in water as well.
Exactly, yeah, so those are given out free as part of the assessment. Right. So it's nice to kind of, you know, every little thing that you don't realize could potentially save energy.
Right. And do you have to own your own home to have an energy assessment?
You don't. So as long as you pay your own electric bill, we do have landlord-tenant programs where we do cover 100% of the insulation that's recommended as long as you're a year-round tenant and pay your own bill.
And how often should somebody have an energy assessment?
You can actually have one every year. Okay. You're entitled to have one every year. If you've had a lot of work done, it might not be beneficial to have one every year, but you're certainly eligible for one.
Excellent. What other programs do we have for low income and seniors?
So some of the recommendations from the energy assessment, just want to point out that our standard incentive for insulation that we cover is we cover 75% of the cost. So like for example, a house of two folks that might have, you know, a total income of $59,000 or less, we actually cover 100% of the cost of the insulation. And then, you know, the lower your income, the more benefits that we have.
Okay. And that insulation is absolutely amazing. We had it done at our house quite a few years ago, and it lowered our monthly heating bill in the winter and in the summer. dramatically.
Yeah, people don't realize, I remember having my house insulated, and it was January a few years ago, and it was like one of the coldest winters we'd had so far. And just that night, it felt like there was a blanket over it. But it does the same thing in the summertime. You know, it helps keep the heat out of your house. So people just, you know, typically think of insulation, associate that with winter, but it also helps in the summer.
Right. And specifically for seniors, we do have a demographic here in Barnstable that is aging, and they're aging in place. What kinds of things do they have available to them through Cape Light Compact?
So in addition to the home energy assessment, there's lots of rebates available. So if you're interested in a new heating system, there's 0% financing available, substantial rebates for heating, cooling, appliances, you know, wireless thermostats. So there's certainly a variety of options for folks.
Fantastic. And when we talk about energy efficiency, let's just back up a little bit. It's not about just turning off your lights anymore, is it?
No, it isn't. It's really you know, in addition to turning off the lights, it's, you know, using an advanced power strip. You know, if you've got several items that might be part of your entertainment center, you know, using that so that it shuts down the electricity when it's not in use. Right. But it's feeling more comfortable in your home too. So not only are you getting the benefits of saving energy and saving money on your utility bills, but you're going to feel comfortable in your house.
Right, and some of the things that are out there for rebates right now too, like the programmable thermostats and the Wi-Fi thermostats.
Wi-Fi thermostats are becoming really popular now, which is really cool because you can control them from a smart device. My husband and I tend to have wars. You know, I'll be upstairs and he's downstairs changing the thermostat and I'm turning it back up on my phone. But technology is advancing all the time, and we're trying to incorporate more of that into our programs. Right.
So we've had like a really, really tough summer already. It's been hot, crazy amounts. What do we have for tips for people for keeping cool and saving energy in the summertime?
So one of the biggest things that people might not realize is, you know, making sure that your windows are covered. So pulling those blinds and shades down during the day helps keep that sunlight out. And even if you might not have any blinds, throw a towel or a sheet up over your window, and that will really help keep your house a lot cooler.
Interesting. I didn't realize that one. What about cooking? Can you save something? You
can. Cook outside.
Cook outside, right?
Use your grill as much as possible, or a microwave. Try not to use your oven.
Right.
Because obviously that's going to heat up your house a lot.
Right. And you've had several programs over the last couple of months this year. Refrigerators and freezers, they're really working their butts off right now, but they're not always energy efficient.
They're not. So anytime you purchase any new appliance, whether it's a refrigerator, freezer, or clothes washer, you want to make sure that it's Energy Star certified, because that means that it's gone through the whole testing and making sure that it's energy efficient. And we do have some rebates available. So anytime, you know, visit our website, capelightcompact.org.
Okay.
Before you purchase anything, because there could be a rebate or an offer available for that.
Right. I just saw offers just recently. There was something that my husband and I, it was a window air conditioner from Matt Save.
Yeah, $40 rebate, I think it is.
That's a great deal.
Yeah, every little bit helps.
Excellent. Just to go back a little bit for income guidelines for your energy assessments and some of the incentives that you have. When we talk low income, what guidelines are there for income for those?
So we kind of go off of two different income levels. So for folks that make 60% of median income or less, they also qualify for fuel assistance and some utility discount rates as well. So there's a lot of benefits for those. You might get a free refrigerator as part of the assessment if your old one's inefficient. And then we have kind of a 61 to 80% of median income guideline, where that's the 100% of insulation that we'll cover. So, you know, we do try to accommodate everyone.
Right.
And the programs are there for everyone. It's not based off of, you know, owning your house or renting, and there's something available for everyone.
Right. One of the tips that we were talking about, drying your clothes outside. I mean, I grew up in Western Mass, and I remember that was one of my chores, was to hang the laundry. That's probably one of the biggest savers in the summertime.
It is, and especially if you have an electric dryer, and you've got that running, it's going to use up a lot of energy. And you know, as much as it might seem like a little bit of a pain to go outside and hang it on a clothes line, I'm sorry, you'll notice it on your bills.
Excellent. Anything else you want to tell people today?
Just give us a call at 1-800-797-6699 or visit our website, capelightcompact.org, for more information.
Excellent. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Pat Clark, principal of Barnstable High School, joined us in studio to educate us about the new 7-period schedules going into effect in September and the exciting options for all students to take semester electives. Changes at Barnstable High School. With me today, Pat Clark. You've got new schedules, and it's not too soon to talk about coming back to school, and I'm sure some parents will agree with us.
It's not too soon to talk about coming back to school, and yes, we have a new schedule for Barnstable High School.
Great. So this schedule didn't arbitrarily just change this week. There was a lot of forethought. So why don't we give our viewers a little bit of history of how the schedule change came about?
Over the course of the last couple of years, we realized both the requirements to graduate from a high school in Massachusetts, plus some of the courses that we feel are very important here in Barnstable, those were filling up all of the slots in our current high school schedule. So many areas in the program of studies, in the arts, many of the elective areas, physical education, etc., students weren't able to access them the way that we wanted. Students in the past had only been taking 6 courses, and generally they were full-year courses. So this new schedule that we have looks much like our old schedule, with the exception of there's a 7th course that is embedded that moves throughout the schedule, and many students, particularly our upperclassmen, will be taking semesterized courses, so they can choose 2 new things. They can choose something in the fall and something in the spring to get a taste of or some exposure to something that's new.
So it's kind of like having an appetizer. So let's talk a little bit about that. So, you know, everybody says, well, the school day is so long as it is. You're not extending the school day. There's just a timing change in the courses that they're taking now.
Yes, how we're apportioning the minutes for each class that a student takes is changing. The school day is going to remain the same start and end time. And we're really looking forward to it. Students are excited about the opportunities, taking advantage of all the opportunities in the program of studies. And it's going to be a great thing for Barnstable High.
Right. Talk a little bit about some of those courses. You know, the ability for somebody to explore in high school some of the things that they may like and then take a course and not like. What are some of those things that they might be taking this?
Well, there are 4 areas that are real career technical education areas. In the certified nursing program, the food service and hospitality program, the police academy and student police academy is not a certified CTE area, but certainly it gives students a great introduction to the work of police, fire, and the courts. And then we have early childhood and care for people who are interested in going into being a preschool teacher, a daycare center owner. And those areas students can now get a taste of to find out whether that's potentially their line of work. And those areas we know are all in high demand in terms of our region of Massachusetts. So the Department of Ed and the Federal Reserve both put out materials that tell us what the job market is going to look like in the future to make sure we're preparing students for the jobs that are really going to exist. In particular, the medical field, with the aging population in Massachusetts in general, but on Cape Cod specifically, I believe we're one of the oldest counties in the country. The healthcare needs are going to be significant. So giving students a taste of any of those areas while in high school is very valuable, because maybe even more importantly than knowing what you love, learning that you're not interested in that at all when it's not costing $50,000 or $60,000 a year is very important for our families. Also, we were able to open up the program of studies for all sorts of new courses that had been kind of on the sidelines and people had been ready to go with. The one we're getting the most feedback about from families is SAT prep embedded during the school day. Because many of the SAT programs are quite expensive. They include Saturdays and evenings. we've heard a lot of feedback from parents that they are excited that their student can get preparation for SAT during the regular school day.
Right. So let's, parents are happy. Let's talk about the student a little bit and the workload. So they're taking another course. How is that workload going to be balanced with another course throughout the school day, or through the homework evening hours is really what it is?
It's interesting that you brought that up. Our school council, which is a group of our faculty and staff members, parents, and students, spent the year focusing exclusively on homework and the homework policy. And I actually have a memo drafted to go to the school committee and back to my own leadership team about examining some of the homework practices. But one of the pieces that everyone on the leadership team at the high school agrees is that homework should be purposeful and it should be practiced to be ready for whatever it is that comes next in the curriculum of the course. I think our expansion of the program of studies, it certainly does include courses that students could take that could be a real heavy lift for homework if they chose. However, if you look at a majority of those courses, they seem to be more enriching experiences that don't have as much of a demand outside of the classroom as, say, a standard mathematics, English, history, or science course. And I hope students take advantage of those opportunities, and in some cases, maybe choose a course that is a learning lab type of support course that will allow them to do better on their existing courses, because some students have that need as well.
Great, and you actually brought up a point for another question of mine, is that a lot of these courses are collaborative problem-solving courses, aren't they?
They absolutely are, and the most creative arrangements are those that are now starting to cross over lines between departments. So when it's interdisciplinary, and it's looking at collaborative problem solving, and it's looking at the kind of group dynamics, those are all the skills that students need to do well in a college dorm or in a workplace. So we really need to build up those social emotional learning skills as best we can embedded in the regular classroom.
This is fantastic. I think, you know, as September, you know, the students will get excited. They've chosen some of their courses already, I would imagine. Was this open to them before they left?
They've chosen all of their courses.
All of their courses.
So we had Step Up Day back on June 8th, and that is a day that we run the whole school schedule for the next year. So the 7th grade from BIS and students from other schools who are returning to Barnstable High, currently in the 7th or 8th grade, come over. All of BIS grade 7 comes over, and everyone shifts up steps up to the next year. And we have a little work to do to make sure that every I is dotted and T is crossed, but we're 99% of the way there in terms of the schedule for the school for next year.
Right. And I'm sure this is in the back of the mind, and it's always a question when we talk about school departments in our 15 towns and the disparity and how things work with school choice. This sort of puts Barnstable up another step here to say, hey, this is something that we offer in high school.
It is, and I would put the program of studies at Barnstable High School up against any program of studies in the Commonwealth or maybe in the country. I've examined many of them. Programs of study are online, and when you look at what we offer, particularly keeping the arts program as robust as we have, the variety of offerings in the wellness and PE, and the high-end electives in the 4 core academic areas, as well as advanced placement languages in all of our languages, 5 years of language. Our program of studies, there's nothing in our immediate area, I believe, that competes with the Barnstable High School program of studies.
Excellent. Well, keep up the good work. Anything else you want to tell parents or students before the year starts?
No, just wanted to say enjoy the rest of your summer, and we will see you real soon back at Barnstable High School.
Excellent. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Is your boat feeling lucky and in need of a mooring? We stopped by the Marine and Environmental Affairs Office to talk to Assistant Harbor Master Brian Taylor and MEA Administrator Debbie Lavoie about the upcoming mooring waitlist lottery. Getting a mooring in Barnstable sometimes takes a miracle. Well, miracles do happen. There are a couple of mooring fields that now have a waiting list opening. Here to tell us more about it, Brian Taylor and Debbie Lavoie.
Good morning, Paula.
Good morning. So you are going to tell us that there are some mooring fields that have names ready to be added.
That's right. We have 5 mooring fields that we're going to be adding names to. We'll be adding 25 names to each mooring field. The 5 mooring fields are Centerville River, Cotuit Bay Shores, Cotuit Cordwood/Oyster, East Bay, and North Bay. We have found available space in most of these mooring fields and offered moorings throughout the past couple of years. Therefore, we've moved names off the list. So we're going to add some new names so the public can enjoy what the town of Barnstable has to offer. We're located at 1189 Finney's Lane, and we'd ask the public to come in and apply for the waiting list application. And Debbie will go over that here.
Okie doke. Just to make it clear, your name will be added, if your name is drawn, to the existing waiting list. So if there's 5 people on the waiting list and you're the lucky one to be number 1, you would be 6th on the waiting list. And how it works is real easy. You come into our office in Finney's Lane. It's 1 entry per person per field. So you come in, it's $5, you fill out the application form, we put them in a drawing, and on Friday the 27th, the drawing will be held. Someone not affiliated with our office will pick out the names. That's the order where the names will be added to the existing waiting list. If your name is drawn, you come in, you fill out an application. It's $25 for the initial application and $10 every year after that to keep on the list, to remain on the list. And every year that you do it, your name will go higher and higher on the list, and eventually Brian's going to call you and say, we have a mooring. Come on in and fill out the form.
Excellent. So those moorings, we're talking about specifically almost the south side before Craigville area, so anywhere in that Katuitt Bay area are really where these moorings are located, correct?
Okay, so most of the locations we're going to have Centerville River, which is off of Town Landing, Hayward Landing, Katuitt Bay Shores, which is in close proximity to Old Post Road. There's no town way to water in that location. The closest town way to water would be the Bay Street boat ramp. But a lot of the individuals in the neighborhoods above apply for moorings in that location or get on a lottery to get on the wait list. Katuitt Cordwood, which is off of Cordwood Landing, that's another town landing. East Bay, which is off of East Bay Road, there's also a town landing there. And North Bay, which is in close proximity to Bay Street, right over the Narrows that you can get to Bay Street. So most of the locations are the southern side of the town of Barnstable. But they're all great locations, and we'd ask people to come in and get on the lottery. You're not guaranteed a spot, but you can get on the lottery and get a potential mooring waiting list location, which is great.
Right, and getting on the waiting list is half the battle here to get a mooring. Is you got to get on the waiting list. You can't just, you know, they don't magically appear if you're not on the list. So they can get an application right off of the website.
You can get the application off the website and mail it in, but you got to make sure the drop-dead deadline is Monday, July 23rd. Has to be at our office by 4:15 on Monday, July 23rd. We put your name in, and then, like I said, the drawing is Friday, July 27th. So the sooner you get it in, the better you are.
Right. So, hey, it's the lottery. Get your name on the list. You might get a mooring in the town of Barnstable. The community calendar. Put this summer activity on your bucket list this week. A free outdoor movie on the town green on July 17th. Bring blankets and chairs and enjoy a movie under the stars. Movie begins at dusk around 8:15, 8:30. This week's movie is Smurfs, The Lost Village. A mysterious map sets Smurfette and her friends Brainy, Clumsy, and Hefty on an exciting race through the Forbidden Forest, leading to the discovery of the biggest secret in Smurf history. Before the movie on the big screen, spend time with fun crafts themed with each week's movie. 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. brought to you by Discover Barnstable. Here is a look at the meeting schedule for boards, commissions, and committees. comments, suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook, email us, or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works for you. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.